Hello and welcome to this video on how to turn a 2D DVD drawing into a Revit project. So in this case I have created a new project in Revit and now I will link the CAD drawing into this project. So I will go to the insert ribbon and select link CAD, and now I will select the CAD drawing that I want to link and just click on open. And in this case we have a multi-story building. So at the moment I'm at the ground floor, and now I want to draw the ground floor, which is this plan right here. So first I need to know the dimension or the thickness of the external wall. And in this case we have 590 millimeters, and the gable walls have a thickness of 350 millimeters. So to draw the external wall, I will go to the architecture menu and select wall and architectural. And in this case I will select the generic wall, and this one is 400, but I will just select it and then click on edit type, and I will make a duplicate, and this one I will call 590 millimeters and say OK. And now I will edit the structure and just type in the correct dimensions and OK to this. And we can see that the height, it's being led from the ground floor to the first floor, so this is OK. And also we want to select finish face exterior and make sure that you have marked the chain. And now we can place the wall by snapping to the outer edge of the external wall and just draw all around. Just like this. And in this case I can just see that I need to move this wall a bit, so I've just selected and move it downwards. So now I have the outer edge for this for the external walls, but I just need to edit the gable walls. So I'll just select one of them and click on edit type, and I will make a duplicate, and this one I will call 350 millimeters and say OK, and again just edit the structure and OK to this. And I will just select the other gable wall and then select the 350 millimeters from the list. So this is the basis for the external walls, and the principle is the same for the internal walls on how to place them. And also for the windows, in this case I'll just select the external walls and say hide in view and category. And to make sure that I place the windows correctly, I will just put in some dimensions. So I will go to annotate and select the dimensions and just start to measure. Like this. And now we can see that we have a window with the dimensions in the width of 1690 millimeters. And if we look at the elevation, then we can find or measure the height. So select the measuring tool, and we have a height of 1667 millimeters. So I will just go back to the floor plan and just unhide the walls. Just select it and say unhide in view and category. And now to place the window, I will go into the architecture menu and select the window. And if you have used the VIA template, in this case we will not have the type of window used for this project. But in this case I will just select one of the other windows and show you the principle. but if you want to have the same type of window as we have up here, in this case you need to create a new window or see if you can download a window like this. But just to show you the principle, I will just select one of the windows, and let me just take this one and again go to edit type and make a duplicate, and the width was 1690 millimeters and the height was 1667 millimeters. Just say OK to this and just change the dimension for the width and do the same for the height and say OK. Just select it and now I should be able to place it in the external wall, and it doesn't matter so much if you place it exactly at the same spot. So now I'll just click here and hit escape twice, and now I can just select the window and just move the dimensions. So I will measure from the outer edge of the wall, and in this case I know that the dimension should be 1610, so I'll just click here and edit the dimension, and now the window should be placed OK. And if I just go to the 3D view, then we have the basis for this ground floor, and now the next step is to draw the first floor once I've finished everything. But if I go to the first floor, and to see the map, the link CAD file and also the external walls of the Revit project, you need to select the underlay and then select the ground floor. And in this case we want the ground floor or the first floor to be placed exactly on top of the ground floor. So I need to move the link file, so I have to select it, and in this case everything turns light blue, and then I will use the move tool, and I know the edge, the outer edge of the first floor is located at the same spot as the ground floor, so I'll just place it here. And if I just select the walls which I have made in Revit and say hide in view and category, now I need to measure the dimension of the external walls, and in this case we can see it's 470 millimeters. And again, if I just measure the gable wall is still 350 millimeters. So let me just turn on the walls of the Revit project, say unhide in view and category, and again I will go to architecture, select wall and architectural, and just select a generic wall and edit type, and I want to make a duplicate, and this one I will call 470 millimeters and say OK, and I will edit the structure, type in 470 millimeters and OK to this, and in this case it's set to the roof level, but if we need to have, for example, a second floor or third floor, we can just go to the elevation, and in here if you want to create more floors, just click on the one of the levels and then right click and say create similar, and then you can just place a new level. And in this case you can edit the name of the level, but we can see when we make a duplicate of this level right here, we will also get a floor plan. So if I go back to the first floor, and if I start to place the external walls, 407, and let's say in this case it will be level 10, which is the same as level or the floor level 2. And now I can just start to draw the external walls. Just like this. And again the gable walls, if I just select it or select both of the gable walls. And now I will select the 350 millimeters. So now they fit, and we can also see that this edge down here, this line, corresponds to the thickness of the wall in the ground floor, and then we have the wall of the first floor. And again, if we just want to place the windows, then we can just select the external walls and then right click and say hide in view and category, and again just add the dimensions. If we go to annotate, select the line and just place the dimensions, and then afterwards we should be able to place the windows. Just like this. But once we've finished, or in this case just to see the 3D view, and in here we can just see the principle of how it will look. But when we place the wall for each floor, we will get this line which will indicate that we have the different or have divided the walls into different segments. But in this case, where the thickness of the wall will vary between the different floors, then we have to live with this type of design. But this is the principle of how you can turn a 2D drawing into a 3D Revit project.